tragic. Demons appear like magic. Money long so elastic. Foreign fabrics to fashion.
I'm itching for money, cash addict. She get drawn in my pockets like Titanic. When I get on the beat, it's Jurassic. Little niggas don't want static.
Wavy come like tsunami and drown you with the drip.
What's going on, everybody, and welcome back to the channel. So the Detroit Pistons are now 29 games through their season. We've taken time to talk about Saddiq Bey. We've taken time to analyze Jeremy Grant. We've taken time to analyze Josh Jackson, Sekou Doumbouya. We even took time, some Pistons fans, to even analyze Killian Hayes after only like 7 games of him playing. My point is that if we can take time now through 29 games, if 29 games is enough for us to start talking about all these other players, 29 games should be enough for us to start talking about how Dwane Casey has done this season. And just to give you guys a little rundown about how I felt about Dwane Casey over the last few years, I have not been a big fan of Dwane Casey. If you guys follow me on Twitter or follow my channel for a while, I have not hidden from criticizing Dwane Casey. I've criticized him a ton over his last few years. I credit him for a lot to do with what Blake is now. I feel like he ran him into the ground too much during that season. I feel like with a better coach, the Pistons possibly could have been better that season. Like, I've been very critical of Dwane Casey, so I just want you guys to understand that's where you guys are getting this analysis from. I have not been shy to criticize Dwane Casey over the last few years, so I won't be shy to do so now. However, I've got to say, I think this might be Dwane Casey's best season with the Pistons this year. Now, don't get me wrong, he has done some things that have really got on my nerves. Like his whole handling of Sekou, when he would go from 5 minutes to 2 minutes to 6 minutes to 7 minutes, play 12 minutes and play really well, and then go back down to 6 minutes the next game. Even last game, when he plays 7 minutes in this game, in his return from the concussion protocol, like, he has done some things that have really got on my nerves. But in the grand scheme of things, I think he's done a really good job this year, honestly. And I can give you guys 3 reasons for why I believe he's had a really good season coaching. The first reason is the team's played despite the personnel that has been given to him. I know there's some people that will say that has more to do with Jeremy playing like an all-star and no one saw that coming, but I think you have to at least give a little bit of credit to Dwane Casey for how Jeremy's played. I'm not going to give a ton of credit because I feel like that disrespects Jeremy, how much work he's put in, but I think in the grand scheme of things, the bigger picture, I think Dwane Casey gets a load of credit for how the team's performed. Now, yes, the team is 8-21, but this team is not very talented at all, but yet still they play extremely hard for Dwane Casey and have some really good wins against teams like the Suns, the Celtics, the 76ers, the Nets, the Lakers. Like, these are some really good wins, and the Pistons always seem to get up for their opponent. No matter how less skilled they are, they always seem to play hard for Dwane Casey, and that's something I've realized over his tenure in Detroit. His team always plays hard, and you have to give him credit for that. Another way to showcase this is that even though this team has 21 losses, they've only lost 7 games by more than 10 points. And even in some of those games, the Pistons were playing really hard and kept up with the team until the opposing team pulled away at the end because they were just a better team. But the overall point is that the Pistons have played really hard all season long, and that has to be to a credit of Dwane Casey. That reason right there is the biggest reason why I believe Dwane Casey's having his best season with the Pistons thus far. The personnel that he has is not very good, but yet he has them getting some wins that they shouldn't be getting. He has them playing extremely hard. He has them keeping game close, and they've only been blown out a few times this season, which is a really good thing to brag about if you want to be honest. But the second reason why I believe Dwane Casey's having his best season with the Pistons is the play of Saddiq Bey and Isaiah Stewart. Now, yes, they may have been drafted by other teams and still played really well, but the fact is they were drafted by the Pistons, and Dwane Casey has them both playing really well and being a part of the rotation. Like, Saddiq Bey just won NBA Player of the Week. Not Rookie Player of the Week, NBA Player of the Week. He has 2 of his rookies playing really well in the rotation constantly, and you have to give credit to the coach for that. Especially when that said coach, that when he was hired, we were told one of his strengths were developing young guys. So when young guys start to play really well, that coach gets credit for that because we were told that was supposed to be what one of his strengths were, and he's showing that off right now. I guess you also could add on to the fact that he has Mason Plumlee and DeLon Wright both overachieving what many people thought they'd be playing like, but we'll keep it strictly to the young guys since that's a specific point that we were told that he was supposed to be good at. He's showing that off right now. We'll keep it to that. And lastly, I have to give him credit for the way he handled Blake Griffin and Derrick Rose. There were a lot of people, including myself, that were criticizing Dwane Casey for how many minutes Blake Griffin was playing, for how he was playing Derrick Rose, and how many minutes he was even playing. But now looking back on it, now that Derrick Rose was traded to the Knicks and Blake Griffin has played his last game with the Pistons, you have to look back on it and realize that he pretty much handled that the best he possibly could have handled it. He needed to find a way to handle a team that is rebuilding or retooling, a team that is trying to play their young players, but also at the top being led by a player who was a superstar not too long ago, but coming off an injury and doesn't even look like he's much of a contributing player at all anymore, and also in a former league MVP who deserves his minutes but doesn't really fit what the team's trying to do right now. So those are 2 hard things to try to balance at the same time. You got a retooling, rebuilding squad who is trying to play their young players, but then you also got a superstar who believes he can still do stuff, who just simply can't do it anymore, and another former league MVP on your team who needs minutes but doesn't really fit what you're trying to do. And by all accounts and all the reports we've seen and all the statements we've seen, it seems like Derrick Rose left Detroit on good terms with the understanding between him and Dwane Casey and him in the front office. And it seems like Blake's also leaving Detroit now with an understanding between Dwane Casey and the front office, understanding that he just doesn't fit what they're trying to do right now. And it seems like both players are just leaving on really good terms, which again is a credit to Dwane Casey for the way he's handled them all season. And those are my 3 reasons for why I believe Dwane Casey's having his best season with the Pistons so far. Like I said, he still does some things that get on my nerves, but I'm sure every coach does. And also, I still believe that he is not the coach for when this team wants to start winning again. But for this time period, for this little rebuilding stage, retooling stage, whatever the hell they want to call it, I think he's been the perfect coach for it. I think he's actually maximizing it the most any coach could possibly maximize it. And I have to give him credit for that because, like I said, I've been very critical of him, but I'm also going to give him a ton of credit when he deserves it. And this season, he deserves a ton of credit. That's all I've got for you guys today. If you guys enjoyed the video, hit that thumbs up down below. And if you guys haven't already, hit that subscribe button down below as well. We are less than 200 subscribers away from my goal of 1,000 subscribers. So once again, if you haven't already, hit that subscribe button down below. Make sure to comment down below also what you guys think about Dwane Casey's season thus far. And until my next video, I'll see you guys later. Go Pistons. Stay safe, everybody.